welcome to another episode of Teens on the Road, the one and only podcast for full-time RVing teenagers. I'm your hostess, Kayla, and for the first time, I have not one, but four other people with me. We're going to be discussing money-making on the road and some business ideas and strategies that you could use for some extra cash, because obviously, we can't have regular teenage jobs. Here with me today is Braxton.
Hello.
He runs a crochet business and sells hats, headbands, and flowers, etc. Layla.
Hello.
Her family sells products from her farm, like milk and also microgreens. Jack, who does odd jobs and also made our corsages for the prom the other day. And Shelby, who has her Bougie Beads business, which sells necklaces and bracelets, and she also does work camping.
Hi.
My first question is for Braxton. What inspired you to start your business?
I've always enjoyed business and, trying to make money. And, when we moved on the road, you don't usually have a lot of chores, or at least my chores were decreased significantly, and I didn't get paid for setting up the RV. So I started crocheting. This guy from a rally taught me, and I started doing odd and end things here and there. And my mom's like, "Hey, you could sell this stuff." So I'm like, "Okay, why not?"
Yeah, something for you to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's keeps your mind busy in the car for long car trips and stuff like that.
Right. Layla, what inspired your family to start your farm business?
We started out just recently in October of last year, and we just have like an overabundance of like everything.
Mm.
So we just decided, it was my mom's idea actually, to just take some milk with us to see if anyone wanted to buy some, and now we have business.
Nice. Yeah, I know raw milk, my mom loves natural stuff, so it was really cool for her to get some from you guys.
Yeah.
And support each other. Jack, what inspired you to start your business?
Just,
Need money?
Basically, yeah. I mean, I've always been kind of willing to do tasks and stuff, so I might as well get paid for it.
Exactly. Shelby?
I am a very creative person. I will jump from embroidery to painting to now bead making, and I discovered, hey, people actually really like it when I got compliments on my necklaces all the time. I'm like, would you buy this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, bet I'll make them for you.
Yeah,
and then Bougie Beads was formed.
There you go. Okay, Jack, what are some challenges you've had in the money making process?
Well, it's hard to it's not steady, right? Especially the way I do it, it's not steady at all. So you can have a month or two where you make several $100s, which has happened before, or you just have 7 months of nothing, and yeah, you just have to kind of work through it, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Layla? What are some struggles you guys have had? What about you, Shelby?
I would say trying to price everything is really hard. Keeping not too high, not too low. So sometimes I lose sales, or I don't, sell much just because either it's too high or maybe it isn't right for this group of people. Selling at rallies and everything, you have to kind of think about, hey, who would want this thing? And that kind of loses some sales sometimes.
Makes sense. You?
It'd definitely be the same kind of situation for me, and it is hard keeping track. But then inventory is hard to keep up with, especially, and then you have to keep up with how many people are going to be at this rally, and you gotta take that into factor, and then you gotta figure out how high can you price your products as well.
So just product pricing and inventory, I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And also, it's inconsistent because sometimes your parents will need you to clean the truck, and you'll be able to do that, and then the truck doesn't need to be cleaned for another month, and so it's like, okay, I don't have anything to do, and we're going to a national park, and I want to get a shirt. Yeah. So Layla, what are your future financial or business plans?
Well, currently, I think I just want to help my parents with the farm, and maybe grow some stuff of my own to sell. My mom said, if we raise some meat birds, if we have full responsibility of them, we could process them and sell them ourselves.
What's a meat bird?
Like
turkey?
Yeah, turkey or chicken. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was an actual
It's just like, well, there's like egg layers, like
Yeah.
and then I was referring to chicken.
Shelby, what are your future financial or business plans?
Well, I'm hoping to maybe go online because at just these rallies I can sell so many, and I'm like, great, this is amazing. But then when people are like, oh, I'm sorry, like this is some reason they give me that I can't just be like, oh, no problem, you can order it next week if you'd like, or you can just look me up. Like, I would love to like maybe start an Etsy or my own website, so I think that would be very helpful for moving along.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Braxton, what are your future financial business plans?
I definitely hope to own a business if that's what happens in the future for sure. I don't want to do crochet for my whole life for sure. I mean, if I had my own business for the rest of my life, I definitely want to open a music shop or something, or like make guitars or banjos or something like that.
And you've done that in the past.
Yeah, I have done that in the past with guitars, and I've sold a few of those. I've made cigar box guitars with my grandpa whenever we are in Oklahoma and stuff like that, and that's worked out too. So.
Yeah, awesome. What about you, Jack? I know you're just doing odd jobs, but
Well, yeah, a lot of my jobs are service-based and stuff, so they're hard to expand on that. But I also have like products like the corsages and boutonnieres and other rallies. I've done like fruit cups and stuff like that. So I think the biggest thing would be try to find something that's not seasonal as much, such as like the corsages and boutonnieres were only for prom. I can't do that just like a regular rally. And so I'll work on that. And also I've done some stockbroking too, and that's been pretty good for me. But it can be hard to. You have to make some investments, so it could be similar to gambling for some people. Yeah, and then I don't plan to do this for the rest of my life. I want to become like a national park ranger or stuff like that.
that'd be cool.
And just retire. But for now, it's a pretty solid gig.
Yeah, my parents do crypto investing, which is kind of similar, except it's a lot more volatile right now.
I haven't done that yet. I want to get into it, but there's only so much you can do, especially because my parents can restrict what I invest in, which is fine. It works well usually enough. But I do want to get into crypto someday.
Yeah,
It
on
seems
the
to be a
horizon.
boom.
Yes. So, what do you guys' parents do for money as a travelers? Shelby?
My dad works with a company that lets him be remote. He works in taxes, so he's always online. And my mom actually doesn't work because we try to do work camping. And if you don't know what work camping is basically as a full-timer or part-timer, whatever you are in your camper, you can get a job with certain places and stay right at that site or wherever they stay, and then you can work for some time. It could be for summer, it could be for like a whole year if you wanted. Depends on what the requirements are. They're all different, but that's what we're doing right now.
And obviously, Layla, you have your farm and your parents do that.
So my dad is a software engineer, and he works for Google. And then my mom, she doesn't technically have a job, but we have the family business, the farm, so that's turning into a job now.
Okay, cool. Jack?
So my dad now he works for a government agency. GSA it constructs a lot of things like courthouses and like the border control thing, like the buildings to go in and out of the United States.
Okay.
He works in the courthouse area, and he's pretty high level for that. And then my mom used to have. Well, they used to kind of both do this home tour business, virtual tours. But they stopped that when we started traveling, which was around 5 years ago. So technically, she's unemployed now, but she takes care of us and stuff.
Yeah. What about you?
My dad, he works for Deca Commissaries, and it was kind of cool how my dad got his job, and we were in Michigan, just just sitting around the fire, and this lady's like, "Hey, you want a job?" And he's like, "Sure, yeah, right, yeah, well, let's go." And it's like, and then the next day he's got a job, and he's like, "Oh, okay, sweet."
Yeah.
And so whenever she needs him, we'll go to a military base, and we'll work there for a little bit because my dad is retired military. So and then whenever we need a job, we'll ask her, and she'll give us a job. So it's
That's pretty cool.
pretty give and take.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so Jack, how does traveling affect your business? And how does your business affect your traveling?
Well, most of my business comes from, well, depending on how you look at it, it can come from traveling or from when we're more stationary. But usually, there's a lot more need for like services when you're on the road, especially mechanical work. But I'm not really into that. Although I do have a friend whose dad does that for a living, and it seems to be working out for him. But yeah, so traveling kind of shaped the way I do business a lot because I never really had an experience with, because I've been traveling so long, I haven't had experiences with like business and work outside of traveling. So, I mean, basically, that's all I can.
Basically, it has everything to do with your business.
Right, and then the business doesn't affect my traveling too much because my parents decide where we go.
Right.
And sometimes we can talk with them and figure out places we'd like to go to, and they'll go there, and it'll be cool, or we'll go to like this region. But especially with the way my business is situated, rather than like your guys's, it's less affected by it than like say a farm
Because you can clean cars anywhere.
or like walk dogs or babysit or
Whatever.
sometimes not really a lot of work.
What about you, Shelby? How has traveling affected your business?
And vice versa. I would say it definitely has affected it. You know, I always loved doing entrepreneurial things when I was a kid. You know, I'd sell those loom bracelets, I'd do slime. You know, anytime I could get a quarter from you and I got to do some crafts, I was in. So I definitely think I always had it, but being at these full-time rallies and everything has brought me closer to people who are willing to like buy this and who have the same kind of mindset and appreciate that business. And so yeah, I feel like traveling has made it stronger and like maybe lasting longer than some of the other businesses I've had.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like when we go to farmers market and stuff, all of the people there have to travel.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to go to more farmers markets in different parts of the state or even different parts of the country. So we kind of have an advantage in that respect, in that we live the traveling life, and so our businesses get to be affected by that.
Yeah,
Usually
it's like
in a good way.
best of both worlds there.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Layla? How has traveling affected y'all's business?
Well, it's like you said about the farmers markets. Like we get to go different places where it's like either like where
You have to travel anyway, but
yeah, we have to travel anyways, and
yeah. Well, how has your business affected your traveling? Have you ever had to like come back to your home base and
basically, so my mom is working on a website, and we're gonna have people take orders, and I think we might incorporate that into our traveling, so we could travel there if there's an order, like say like in Florida, we could go down there. Yeah.
Cool. Braxton, how has traveling affected your business?
I think traveling really goes along with the business because really the only places that right now the only places that I've sold is at rallies, and but I have sold at one other event because my cousin is the mayor of a city in Oklahoma, and she needed vendors, so I'm like,
I'll sell stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got a booth there, and so yeah.
And so that ties into the question: how does your business affect your traveling? So she had an event, and then you went.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of rhymes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack,
Yes.
how have the full-time family rallies brought you more business?
Well, I mean, they're probably on at least 70% of my income from products because every time we go to a rally, I kind of try and spin a product based on the rally theme. So for this one, it was like prom. So I made corsages and other flowery stuff for prom. And there was a Mexico rally a few months ago, or yeah, January, that I went to, and I sold some Mexican popular, like it was fruit cups with like sriracha and seasoning stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's a popular vendor thing there, but that was in Arizona before we went to Mexico.
Yeah.
But I would say the rallies, not only do they bring me a lot of business, at least for the products, it's nice because you can kind of spin a product for the rally.
Right.
Rather than, just.
Sell something generic.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, if you find something like crochet hats and stuff, or farm supplies, or like bead necklaces and stuff that people will want again and again,
Yeah.
that's nice too. You have a lot more longevity with that.
Yeah. Your business is just more flexible.
Yes, definitely.
Which is a good thing.
Just like the lifestyle.
Yeah. Layla, how have the full-time family rallies brought you more business?
Well, since there's already so many events already happening, it's kind of like we can just talk about it, and then they're like, "Oh, your mom has milk. Come and get some milk,"
Yeah.
And so it's like a lot easier, I think it is, than stationary at our farm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the farmer's market thing. You have to travel anyway. So
Yeah.
might as well get it done. Absolutely. Yeah. Braxton, how have the full-time family rallies brought you more business?
It's the only business.
It's the only business.
It's the
yes.
only way I get business, pretty much.
Nice.
Really, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I know that a lot of rallies will have like the marketplaces,
Mm-hmm.
kids marketplaces, or they'll have the swap tables.
Yep.
And so even if you do like, you could just set up at the swap table and be like, hey, I have crochet stuff.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, just put a sign there and be like, I have crochet stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's some good ways. All right, so Shelby.
And like I said before, definitely, like the rallies are very important. Like I have tried doing it without the rallies, and I've had a lot of sales, but like I could compare it. It's so much more. There's so many people who really care about, especially in the kids rallies. Like they know you're trying, and I thought the kids was gonna be like for the little kids who want to sell their little book they made or whatever. And it actually is. You could do it either way. Like they care about people who are doing the same thing as you, and there's this like camaraderie, and they want to support you even if they really don't know you. It's a really cool community, of course, and like everyone said, it's a lot more sales when there's a lot more people.
Yeah, so I guess number one advice, if you want to sell something, go to a full-time family rally.
Absolutely.
Because people will want to support you, and that's a good point. So, Shelby, what is some advice you'd give to a traveling teen who is looking to make money?
I would say don't sell yourself short. Like I always was like, oh, people don't want this, or I don't think people would like this. I like this design for my beading, of course, but maybe they don't. I was told by many of people I've told that to. Just make it. You know there'll be people with different tastes or maybe the same taste that want that. You need to make sure you're open to new ideas, and it's hard with the inventory problem about I don't want to make too much, but I know my first one I made like a bunch of different beads for a bunch of different people, and I ended up selling a bunch of different designs. So don't sell yourself short. You can sell things that you might think you're like, no one wants that.
Don't underestimate the market.
Exactly.
Jack?
Well, what Shelby said really, and also be flexible too, because I mean, especially traveling, like for me, we used to travel a lot more. Now we're getting more stationary, but we used to travel like at least once a week, usually more. I mean that's nice, but especially if you're a younger teen, it doesn't hurt to be flexible, and also just try to enjoy it. Don't let it detract from your business. If you're struggling with your business, you can always do something else too. You don't have to get too tied up with one thing. Although, again, if you really like doing it and it's good profit, that's fine, and you can always supplement it with other stuff or regional or seasonal stuff too.
Yeah.
And services as well.
Braxton, advice for other teens?
I was thinking almost the exact same thing. Just keep yourself versatile, because there's really just, if you see a need, fill a need almost. And like, there's never going to be one set thing when you're on the road. There's always going to be something different. There's going to be some sort of event that you can cater to. Also, just do something that you enjoy, that you really love doing, and you'll never work a day in your life.
There you go.
That's probably advice for in general, really.
Yeah. And I mean, going on what you said about needs being met, I started this podcast with that idea so we could be together and talk about teen RV problems that nobody else has. And so here we are filling a need, aren't we?
Yeah, there you go.
It's almost like you thought you had 4 entrepreneurs and you actually have 5.
Yeah,
Count
exactly.
yourself.
Thank you. Layla, do you have any advice for other teens?
Yeah, actually feeding off of adding off of what Shelby said, be confident in what you're selling, and talk about it, not over the top, but if you're talking to your friend about like a friend you met traveling, about how they love the natural stuff or whatever.
Yeah, organic. I like organic.
Yeah, tell them your business has microgreens,
Yeah, exactly.
just talk about it, you know. Don't pretend it's invisible.
Right. Because it's nothing to be ashamed of. Awesome, guys. Well, do you guys have any closing thoughts or questions for me?
No. Like I said, I think your business is cool too. There's so many different ways that you can, even if you're not selling something, maybe just providing something to people, and it's a good mindset to have, to start thinking about that.
Yeah. What do other people need?
Yeah.
And how can I provide a need? Did you have something to say, Jack?
Self-promotion is, like I said, really good. It works. Be sure to market yourself and enjoy traveling. I mean, you're probably going to be doing it for a few years. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something you usually do for a little bit. So.
Right. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today.
No problem.
And thank you to all you nomads out there for listening. If you want to be on the podcast, say hi or follow us on social media. Check out our link below. And be sure to share Teens on the Road with your friends. Feel free to tag us on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks again for listening, and have fun.